in studio tonight, we are so honored to have Ted Newsom, the Rose Phantom. I want to thank you again for coming out and talking about your work. Of course, we're talking about Ted's new album, Sketches, live at
Storm Mountain.
Storm Mountain. My glass. Well, this is a little bit dark, and these are not my reading
We are
glasses.
sitting in the dark. Yeah.
We are sitting in the dark, literally.
Fun things happen in the dark.
They do. Musically, everything. With this album, let me ask you this, and we're going to play a couple more tracks off this, but then we're going to get into Conjuring the Spirits here in just a minute. Any other things in the works for you? I know we were talking about just how tough it is in the music industry to do what you do, and you keep on doing it. Even though sometimes, just like with radio or whatever, any form of entertainment, do you ever, even though you get a little down on it sometimes, do you have, is there something on the drawing board for down the road a little bit?
Yes, there is. I mean, I can never stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, it's like a curse, you know? I get these ideas, and I have to do them because the feeling of it is so euphoric. I want to say it makes me feel so good. So I have to.
You're driven to do it.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I basically just want to manifest visions. That's all I've ever really done with my life so far. I get these visions, and then I just want to manifest them. But next up in the music world, I do have one more release for the beginning of next year. This is going to be a dark ambient offering. It's actually the music that I composed for my ghost hunting show, Conjuring the Spirits. I made this about 10 tracks of just dark ambient music to go along with the show, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to them recently, well, a couple months back, because it was a while since I actually sat down and listened to them with headphones. Like, you know, there's actually some pretty good stuff here, good enough to release as a dark ambient album. I feel this displays quite well what I can do in that genre, and I haven't really released anything like that before. So it's all instrumental, kind of dark soundscapes, and you know, with very nice titles that will kind of set the mood for you. Some of the titles of the tracks, Open Fields meets what was it? I can't really remember a lot of the titles right now.
But this is all stuff. Now let's talk a little bit about Conjuring the Spirits. Conjuring the Spirits is a film project that you, last time you were here, you and your buddy Purgatory Pete, and if he's listening out here, you're missing out, bro.
Yeah, he was supposed to come and be here, but
hopefully he's okay with the weather too, because it was, I don't know where he's coming from, but I know out west it was horrific getting here tonight.
Well, he keeps crashing in the same old car, so if I can quote some Bowie there.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about Conjuring the Spirits and where that came from and what you've done there?
Conjuring the Spirits is it's an independent ghost hunting show, so it's kind of a documentary style TV show type thing, where I use the power of music to conjure spirits. That's kind of the whole point of the show there. I do get into traditional ghost hunting techniques as well. So I have all the, instruments that you would see on some of the other TV shows and stuff, and EMF detectors and things like that. So we do that kind of stuff, and then I kind of the main event is the music at the very end, where it's like, now we're gonna conjure.
I'm gonna put these things to the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we'll go through a location, and do our spirit box sessions, do our EMF sweeps, just to see if there's any kind of activity going on. And then it's like, okay, now let's get the music going. And that's the ultimate. Even though we've only done it once, the experience was profound, and I'll never forget it.
Now, you shot your first show at the old
Montana prison.
Right. And I posted that video up on Inception Radio, but you can find, if you just search Conjuring the Spirits on YouTube and the website, that show is there. And again, that my hat's off to you, because that is done just as good as any Ghost Adventure series. That's you and Purgatory Pete, you guys going up there, spending a ton of time editing it all up. It is just like something you would see on one of the big networks. And then you do your music at the end.
Yeah, well, thank you.
And tell us what happens at the end, because that's the whole.
Yeah. The end is. So yeah, we're up there, and it's just Purgatory Pete and myself. So Purgatory Pete, he's the cameraman. So I'm doing all the ghost hunting, and I'm performing the music, and Purgatory Pete's kind of just documenting it all, and kind of there for moral support as well. Even though, he's the one getting scared. It's like don't put the camera down and don't cut it just because you're scared. You gotta keep filming here. We had quite a bit of pep talks during the first episode at the old Montana prison, where I was basically had to be like, hey man, it's okay. And there's actually a bit in the episode during the music, I believe. It's kind of we took a little break, and there's a bit where you can see he's kind of freaking out, and I kept the camera. I took the camera from him, and I
saw it, and it's not the Zach Bagans put on deal. I mean,
no,
he's scared.
Real.
He's like,
scared.
Man, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, he's and he didn't know I was filming, because I had a full spectrum camera filming me. So that was, continuously, that was just going. And then I took the camera from him when he was freaking out, and I just kind of was hiding it, but I was filming him freaking out, basically. It just in his head, he was shutting down on me.
Really?
Because of what the music was doing. What the feelings that the music was conjuring within were very intense. His feelings were different than mine, however. Mine were very, I want to say, euphoric and blissful, and almost like I was ascending into this other realm.
Dimension.
I say realm a lot, and I I didn't want to say.
What else?
Guys, say that word too much. But Pete, he was totally, in the negative part of it. Like, this isn't, I don't know what's happening to me. He was kind of feeling, I was kind of, I was high. I was basically high. I was getting high from it. Really. And he was kind of feeling, I think, my energy. But he didn't know how to take it. He didn't really know, because it was so intense. And you have to remember this, we're in the pitch black in the main cell block of the old Montana prison, and it's just us. And it's about...
Well, you think it's just you.
Well, I mean...
Right,
human beings. It's
it's
just the two of us. We had the whole place to ourselves, because I paid them. I paid for that. I put the money up. It's like, okay, give me the place to, all to myself.
We're gonna tear it up.
Because we want to be totally secluded and isolated when we do these experiments.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Fringe Radio. Our guest tonight in studio is Ted Newsom, the Rose Phantom. So we were talking a little bit before the break about making Conjuring the Spirits, and how when you got into the music, it definitely took you to a different realm, scared the heck out of Purgatory Pete, your film guy. And let's pick back up.
Yeah, let's pick back up. Yeah, so we're at the old Montana prison, and your audience can obviously, go to conjuringthespirits.com and go watch the full hour episode of the Old Montana Prison. It's our debut episode. But what I was talking about was, we were just talking about some of the experiences while doing the music inside the pitch black prison. This old, totally creepy. And we're the only two physical, beings in the premise of the prison. And just once we got going with the music, or I should say once I got going with the music, and that's when things really started to happen. That's when pretty much all my fear dropped. Because it's pretty funny if you watch the episode, before we get into the music side of things, we're doing the traditional ghost hunt. And I remember we're down in the tunnels of the prison. This prison had tunnels leading to different, sections of the whole prison. Pretty cool. But they're very dark, dingy. There's like water and old, just tunnels. Very creepy. And I have a thing for dark tunnels. I want to just live in one. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's because that's where true beauty resides, I believe, is in the darkest place that you can think of. I want to go there, and music can open that door. But anyway, we were down in those tunnels, and I was kind of getting spooked down there. I felt all I had was my Mel meter and spirit box, and that's it. But once we and we had some results. We had some big EMF spikes happening down in the tunnels, and actually my Mel meter actually alarmed. It has this kind of antenna on it that radiates a separate magnetic field. So if a spirit comes within a certain proximity of the antenna, this thing it will beep and buzz at you. And I've never actually had it go off prior to that. And that kind of was like, okay, right. It was just spooky,
right?
And I was getting spooked, and I don't get spooked. But when we started with the music, I was not spooked. I felt like the music was my armor, actually.
Really?
I felt protected, like a bubble. The music created a bubble around me. And maybe Purgatory Pete got, maybe he was freaking out because he wasn't really in that bubble. He was just, filming this. He was documenting all this. So I think that's actually maybe why, as you'll see in the episode, he kind of basically starts literally, he's like shutting down on me. Like he was just standing and he didn't know what to do. He even when we left the place, I had to walk by him. Like he'd wait for me to walk next to him.
It scared him.
But I mean, the miraculous thing here, and we just stopped filming after this because it's like, yeah, we got it all. Is once I kind of pep talked him into okay, let's do another session of the music, because we did the music for about an hour before we actually got some results, and I just edited it down to about whatever it is, 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes of the episode is just the music, but we were doing it for about a good hour, and so we took a little bit of breaks in between, basically just to make sure he's doing okay, and then I would just say, hey, this is awesome. Do you feel this? Are you feeling what I'm feeling? He's like, no. And then, and I actually convinced him at one point, which you'll see in the episode, to go on the other side of the cell block. Okay, this is a big deal for him, and I'm proud of him for doing this, even to this day, because it's so great. It was so great that he did this, because I believe if he hadn't have done this, then the amazing thing wouldn't have happened. And I'm talking about my hat flying off. I was wearing one of my custom hats that I wear. I just wear all the time, And I actually, it's crazy to, see it and talk about it now, it feels like it was a different person that it happened to. But once he crossed over to the other side of the cell house, I was alone, and I had one camera at my back. So just one full spectrum camera, and then he had our other camera, our other night vision camera, and he was just filming on the other side. I wanted to see if something was happening on the other side. Maybe he could capture an apparition or just something. Maybe spirits were coming out over there. Maybe. So it's like, you need to go over there. I can't. I have to play the music. You know, I'm the musician here. You got to go. You're here to document this. Right. I was being kind of,
sure.
You have to do this. You have to go. And he did. And like I said, I'm so glad that he did, because once he left, that's when it really got intense for me. That's when it was really.
Do you feel like your hat was kicked off of you, or picked off of you, or lifted?
You know, when this is kind of a weird analogy, but when you're about to sneeze, you get kind of a tingle sensation. That sensation kind of crawled up my back, kind of a tingling, and then all of a sudden my head quickly just felt cold. All of a sudden it's just cold, it all happened so fast. And then I realized my hat was on the ground. I was like, I was very excited, and you could see in the video my reaction is I'm not scared. I'm just excited, almost. I'm blown away. And thankfully, we captured all this. You could see the hat coming off, and it was just, I couldn't have asked for anything better to happen, as proof that music can conjure spirits. And I think that's proof. A lot of people say that's not proof, and it's, how isn't it? Yeah. I was there. It wasn't a windy night. There wasn't any breeze going on. It was a very cold night, extremely, but the weather was very calm, just really cold. There's no open windows. We're in this big place. People think, well, what about the music coming out of the PA system, the vibration? Maybe that knocked her. It's like, it was loud, but it wasn't that loud. Like the Maxell commercials, where the guy's sitting on the chair, and he has the dog.
A Memorex. Is it live or Memorex?
Is it Maxell or Memorex?
Memorex, yeah. And the glass shatters, and the chair starts moving back.
Yeah, people approach me thinking that that's how the hat came off. It's like, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that loud, but it was loud, but not that loud.
And again, people can go take a look at this. If you go to Ted's website, it's called conjuringthespirits.com. The one episode is on there. It's on YouTube. Very professionally done. Very, very nice. Check it out. The whole episode is there. Couple questions actually came in for you. One question was, has Rose gone to Skinwalker Ranch, or ever considered doing that?
Yeah, actually I have. I haven't gone there, but I have considered going there, and I'm actually very interested in doing so.
In doing
in doing an investigation there.
Okay. Another question Carol sends in from California says, how did Purgatory Pete get his nickname?
Well, I call him Purgatory Pimp. That's what I call him. As you'll see in some of our other videos on the Conjuring the Spirits YouTube channel, you'll hear me calling him that. It's kind of funny. But how did he? I wish he was here in studio to tell you, because I'm drawing a blank right now. And I know this, but I actually, well, I hope he doesn't mind if I say this, but his name's Ryan. His name's Ryan Peterson. Okay, so Pete comes from Peterson. So his name's not Pete, which a lot of people are confused in the episode. I'm calling him Ryan. I'm being serious with it. I'm not going to be like, hey, Purgatory Pete. I'm Ryan, did you hear that? And I think that confuses a lot of people, because he's being promoted as Purgatory Pete, but his name's Ryan Peterson. But I just know that Pete comes from Peterson. Yeah, we're going to have to talk to him about that. But I don't know. Maybe I can call him.
You both do. He does amazing camera work.
I can tell you where the Rose Phantom came from, but I'm sure Ryan's story is much better than that.
So, how did it come about?
Oh, you really want to know?
Yeah, give us the condensed version.
Oh, man. It was about 11 years ago, so I've been going by that name for about 11 years. And basically, it's not a good story. I would, I'm I'm a romantic person, I think, despite what other people might say. But I feel I'm very romantic, and what I did to kind of acquire this name was I would deliver and also have other people deliver roses to, girlfriends and stuff.
Oh, cool.
But I would do it in a phantom style. So it was like very mysterious, where'd this come from? And I'd do it in all the greatest ways you could ever think of. And I was with and I remember it like it was yesterday. We were just sitting in my car and I was actually going to have him go deliver something, obviously roses and something else.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really excited about it, and he was like, "Man, this is so cool. You're like a phantom." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like a rose phantom." And it was just like that. It went down just like that, and it stuck. It almost instantly. It was like, "Oh wow, I've arrived."
Yeah.
That's it. It has come to me now, and ever since, basically, yeah, I've named my ego. That's all it is, really.
No, well,
it's more marketable than Ted.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I go, "Oh, Ted, the movie about the bear that smokes weed."
No, that's not me. I'm the Rose.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've got your character. You've got that, especially with Conjuring. You look like the Riddler. You're right. Your outfit reminds me of like what the Riddler would wear. You're kind of like you're kind of like a dark David Bowie, Depeche Mode Riddler looking guy.
Riddle me this, Pat.
Yeah.
No, I take that as a compliment. I've always been intrigued by, comic book characters, and on some of my other works, I've tried to kind of be a comic book character. Like the Rose Phantom could very well be, something you could see in a dark graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I was kind of going for on the album before this new EP, which that album's called Abandon. And I was kind of accessing different characters on that, and kind of they're very colorful and very almost, yeah, you could see them in comic books almost, But it's all mood, really, and it's all what mood I'm in at the moment, and.
No, I think it's good. I like I said, I think it's definitely it's cool without a doubt. It's to build. I mean, it is like an alter ego almost. I mean.
Well, yeah, it totally is. It's almost like the armor. It's your armor for living in the world, mm-hmm. almost. But it's like I said, it's all mood. I don't dress up to get attention, really. It could be seen that way, and it is good. It would be a good way to get attention, especially when I do my drag devil character. I don't know if you've seen that character. I've got the dress on, I've got the devil horns on, and it's kind of this. The one album you've got where you got the big nose, you look like a bird thing. That's kind of scary. Oh yeah, the masquerade masks that I can wear sometimes. But I was just saying, it's all mood, and it's all about how it makes me feel. So it's all about accessing different parts of yourself, and that is something I feel that a lot of people don't really do, and I'm all for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it makes life more fun.
Oh no, at least for me. Like I said, and people need to go check out your site too, because you've got a lot of music videos on there. A lot of them, well, they're all shot here in Salt Lake City. I know there's
except for one.
Yeah, there's one. You're in the car. you're shooting it out of the car. I kind of realized where you were when I watched it a few times, and there's just a lot of they're great videos, and it's great music, and people need to they need to go check it out. TheRosePhantom.com. Go take a look at it. There's just there's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're into like we were talking about earlier, if they're into David Bowie, if they're into Depeche Mode, if they're into Tears for Fears, then this is kind of like right up there
for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all those artists are great, but they're not going to be doing it for that much longer.
Right.
So who, and I fear for this, is who is going to kind of take that place, not to be them, but take that place of making music like that. And I'm just not seeing it happening. I mean, I feel I'm doing it, but the world hasn't really caught on yet.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Fringe Radio. Our guest tonight, live in studio, Ted Newsom, the Rose Phantom. Yeah, we were talking a little bit on the break there about some of the characters, about the Riddler, and like you said, you like the Jim Carrey Riddler.
I do.
I like the Frank Gorshin Riddler, who was from the original Batman series. Then we talked a little bit about the Joker, and of course, I do agree with you, Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson nailed it.
Yeah.
But Heath Ledger also did a great,
awesome job.
Different,
Totally
different. But I think, I mean, just Nicholson nailed it. That's the Joker in my eyes. Just kind of,
a comic book character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was more comic booky. I think Heath Ledger was a little more real world.
Right.
He was more real.
Well, yeah, he was like, you could believe this.
Yeah, like this guy, he could be a real life guy,
Right.
Whereas I guess the Jack Nicholson guy character could be as well. But
Yeah, he was very, very, very animated, without a doubt. Are you a big moviegoer? You like movies?
I don't like movies that are in the theaters these days. I'm big into film, and I actually am writing a film. But I'm into more the directors that kind of push the boundaries, kind of like David Lynch. He's my ultimate, he's my favorite director. And some of the Tarkovsky films, like the Russian director, I don't know if I'm really into that stuff, but I don't really go and see it's kind of like, the music these days, top 40.
Right.
The same thing in the film world. Everything you go see in the theater is just going to be a bunch of regurgitated garbage.
It is.
I
did go see. I did get a chance to see Interstellar last weekend.
I don't even know about that. What is that?
Good movie. You just have to see it. 3 hours, very deep, very in depth. I would say. I hadn't seen a lot of movies this year. Of all the ones I saw, which I think is about 5 or 6, it was good. I did go see Godzilla because I'm a big Godzilla fan. I had to go see it for the sake of seeing it. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Someone gave me that to watch, and I watched about 10 minutes of it. Then I just couldn't. It's like, I can't do this. I can't. There's certain. I just can't go there. It's like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to see this. I mean, I can't even think of the last movie I saw in the theater. I think the last movie that I really liked, I actually ended up buying, that I saw in the movie theater, was Zodiac.
Oh, okay.
It was either that or Into the Wild.
Okay.
Which I own both of. Those are very good. Those are films. Those are great films. But the last movie I saw in the theater was actually earlier this year. I believe it was Transcendence with Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Different.
I think Depp's, he's an awesome actor, and he's in a lot of my favorite films.
And that movie took a beating too.
That movie, I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I enjoyed it. I did. But it wasn't, it wasn't like it was nowhere near, Dead Man or The Ninth Gate or Secret Window. But considering it's a new movie, he's maybe coming out of his, popular kiddie phase where he's making
Willy Wonka.
He's making like, I don't know. His career kind of took a turn, I want to say, in the early 2000s that isn't for the best in my eyes. It just kind of got goofy after a while. It's like I'm not really into the pirate movies.
Movie, yeah.
Not into that stuff. I like his more serious kind of, stuff that's not well known. Like I said before, Dead Man.
Speaking of serious, let's go ahead and play another song off of Sketches live at Storm Mountain.
Yeah,
It's called "It's All Right," Heart of Stone.
Yeah, Sketch 3. So it's very serious stuff.
Okay, we're going to listen to it. Rose Phantom, Ted Newsom, his new album called Sketches Live at Storm Mountain. Give a listen. And again, this can be bought internationally throughout the world, through iTunes, through CD Baby. There's many places. Go to his website and you'll find the links, and we'll put it on ours. So let's listen to this track. All right, we're back with Ted Newsom, the Rose Phantom. We've got a couple minutes left. 2 hours flew by. And I ask all our listeners, especially our new international listeners, go out to Ted's website, check it out. His music is available everywhere. A couple things we wanted to touch upon before we called it a night.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, it's available on all the major distributing companies like iTunes and Amazon and wherever the hip place to buy music is. I'm not sure, but I've made it available. And also, this new EP, Live at Storm Mountain, was filmed. This whole thing, there's a concert film that you can watch, and you can see that on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Rose Phantom. So you can hear the music there too, and you get to watch it, the live performance film of what it looked like while we were recording it. And
very interesting.
Yeah, so there's that, and that's definitely worth checking out.
So where do we go from here? Where does the Rose Phantom go from here? What's next?
What's next? Well, I have the dark ambient release that I'd like to get out early next year while it's still winter time, because the music is very much, it's very cold. The mood of it's spooky. Like I was saying earlier, it was created for my ghost hunting show, Conjuring the Spirits. This was music that was created for that, so the intent was that. But I've found that it will make a good album. I'm a fan of dark ambient music, and I know a lot of other people are too. It's kind of a, an underground thing, but not only that, I'm into artists that can kind of release any type of music. So
and give you happiness and warmth from something dark.
Yeah, I mean, for this next release, Dark Moods it's probably the moodiest type of stuff I've ever done, and it's all instrumental. It's gonna take you on a journey. It is dark. It is very dark. It's probably the darkest stuff I've ever recorded. Hence the title, Dark Moods. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to release that, and maybe a couple of remix tracks. I did a track with a talented writer. Her name's Taylor Seville. I did a track with her back in late summer. We collaborated on a track. I had her sing. It's called The Limitless Reaches of the Earth. We also made a music video together. But I'm probably going to, make a couple remixes of that. Maybe a new remix video as well. So aside from those things, that's kind of what's on the horizon for the Rose Phantom. And then maybe disappear in the desert for a while.
And pick up Conjuring the Spirits, or move forward with it.
Conjuring the Spirits, I would love to...
It's on the plate. Just gotta get to it.
That's still a dream of mine.
Well, you've made the first episode
a reality,
first episode, and people can go look at it right now.
They can.
Yeah.
But there's so much more
to
do in that dream. There's so much more.